Welcome back to the Purdue Softball Show. Cory Palm with Maggie Frezzotti, the head coach of the Boilermakers. Coach, good to see you again.
You too, Cory.
Three losses, 2 wins. 2 and 3 is the better way to say that on the weekend. You guys are 7-5 now after that trip to Central Arkansas. Just overall thoughts on the weekend. We'll get into some of the specific games here in a bit. But what did you learn about your team?
Yeah, the weekend, there's one game that we didn't show up, and that's a painful part of the weekend, but we competed in 4 of the 5, and that's what we're asking our players. We're asking that they show up, that they compete, that they give ourselves a chance to do something with the game. And sometimes you're going to be in games, and the other team is going to do one thing better than you, and you're going to take the game. So we felt like the second game against South Dakota State, we definitely showed up a lot better than the first. And SIU is a good team, and we knew it was going to be a tough matchup with their pitcher, who is really good, and it was a night game, which always adds a little spice there to the competition and how you see the ball and whatnot. But again, we felt like we competed in those 2 games, so not happy about the losses necessarily, but happy that we're still presenting the way that we want to present.
That's good. It's good to keep that fight. Like you say, to compete in 4 of the 5 games, come out a little bit flat on Friday, but you rebounded really well in Game 2 on Friday to get the 1-1 split. Let's talk about that win over Central Arkansas on Friday afternoon. We'll get into that one. You guys put 2 up in the 3rd inning to break the scoreless tie, and what was just a great sequence, I think. Mariah Poehler leads off with a full count walk. Steals second, reaches 3rd on a wild pitch, and it kind of goes from there. You get a single that doesn't score because the single's to 3rd, so fielder's choice, not a fielder's choice, but Jones reaches on a single. Scamardo forced out at 2nd. I'm getting ahead of myself. Scamardo with an RBI single drives in the 1st run. She gets forced out at 2nd the next at bat, but then you've got runners at the corners again because of the fielder's choice. Bailey steals 2nd. Bad throw to 2nd. It's always Kendall Bailey. She's in the middle of everything. Jones scores on a bad throw, and really, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. You're probably already tired of me talking about this, but you guys are constantly putting the catcher under stress, and it steals. Bad throws, errors, it really seemed to pay off in that inning with a couple runs.
Well, first, I never get tired of talking about softball, Cory, so we can talk this all day long. Yeah, it's great. And again, we're trying to put ourselves in a position where we can be successful. And we have speed and we have smart base runners. And when the game gives us opportunities to use that, to produce, we're going to take advantage of that.
Central Arkansas ties it with single runs in the 4th and the 5th. But you guys, kind of defensively answered the bell there a little bit. Strand 5 runners late in that game, including bases loaded in the 5th inning, where they're not able to push across a go-ahead run. So it goes to extra innings, international tiebreaker rules. Jones is placed on 2nd. She scores on a throwing error. Scamardo goes to 2nd on that throwing error. Then Bailey lays down a sac bunt, gets Banks, who came in to pinch run, Chloe Banks to pinch run for Scamardo, to 3rd. Jay Moy comes in for a pinch hit and hits into a fielder's choice. Banks scores 4-2. 4-2 at the end of the top of the 8th inning. We go to the bottom half, and the bases are like instantly loaded. They start with a runner on 2nd as well.
He fell that way. I was like, what happened?
2 quick walks, and what the heck happened? Yeah, bases loaded, no outs.
Yep.
You guys are up 2, and you make you bring in a couple players that end up being huge switches. Kendall Klochek comes in the circle, and you bring in Jordan Ramos in right field, and Central Arkansas gets a sac fly for 1 run. Klochek gets a 3-pitch strikeout.
Beautiful thing.
For out number 2, unbelievable. And then, in the biggest play of the weekend probably, a long fly ball to right. Joe goes back, makes a beautiful over-the-shoulder grab. That ball drops, the game's over.
Yeah.
It's going to be a walk-off hit. And instead, she not only makes the grab, but slams into the wall, holds on to the ball as she goes to ground, and Boilermakers win 4-3 in about as exciting a fashion as you can have. First of all, the immediate concern had to be for Joe's health.
She's great.
She was good.
She's tough. She's Jordan Ramos, but you saw in that play, that's Jordan Ramos for you. She's going to go all out, give everything she has for the team, and make things happen. That's Jordan Ramos to a T.
She made it happen that night. You guys in the day in a great fashion, and then, like you said, compete on Saturday, lose a couple close games, and get a chance to rebound on Sunday with another game against Southern Illinois, who beat you 2-0 on Saturday. And whoa, baby, did you guys have some offense on Sunday? The Bats came alive. 13-6 win. 3 home runs, 3 more doubles, like 6 extra base hits is fantastic.
I told you that last weekend, right?
Yeah.
We talked last week that I was hoping that would happen this weekend, that I feel like we were getting closer and closer and closer.
And everything.
And Sunday finally was like, there it is.
Everything clicked. Mariah Poehler, great weekend. She had 2 bombs on Sunday. Goes 3 for 5 in the day with 3 runs, 4 RBI. Just fantastic day for her. Anybody else stand out in Sunday's action?
Oof. Who didn't, right? 13 runs, come on. 13 runs, who didn't show up?
14 hits.
But you know what? Like, thinking back in the game, the first piece of execution that really is like, okay, we're on today. We have Haley sack bunt early in the game, and she got that done. And that, to me, was as important as everything else that came after, because that gave us the chance that we needed. We put runners in scoring position, then things obviously started adding up and stacking up, but I'm happy with both. I'm happy with the sack bomb that gets executed and gets the job done, and with the bomb that scores 2, 3, 4. So I think that, we showed up in many, many ways. Defensively, too, we had some miscommunications this weekend, but overall, we're playing tough. And I don't mean to sound repetitive, but we're competing. We're playing hard, we're communicating. Overall, again, positive balance of the weekend in that sense. We've been talking about, I don't know if you read the book Atomic Habits.
No.
By James Clear. He gives this analogy of casting votes for the person that you want to become, right? And how to win an election, you don't need 100% of the votes. You just need more of the good votes than the bad votes.
Okay.
To just speak very basic here. So we keep talking about that too. Just cast a vote for the team that you want to become. Cast a vote for the player you want to become. And every time you show up and you perform the way that you should and you want to, then you're going to get closer to becoming that winning team. We say that's one win, make you a champion. No, but it casts a vote for I'm a winner. I'm a winning team. So we're trying to stay focused. I told you this last week too. Change takes time, and as long as we're moving and we're trending in the direction we want to go, we're gonna keep the head up and keep going forward.
And that's even more apparent, after a weekend like this, where there's a lot of good little things, but overall you didn't get the results. The first 2 weekends there were a lot of good things, and you got the results by and large. So to be able to stay the course when things don't necessarily turn out how you want them to, that's sometimes the real challenge. And the team's in a good spot, coming out of the weekend still.
And you know what? Yes, to answer your question. What was beautiful about this weekend too is from Saturday night to Sunday, coaches didn't have to say anything. We didn't have a motivational speech of like, you guys. No, they knew, right? Like we talk about, it was a tough game, tough loss. We competed. We get another chance tomorrow. That's all we had to say, and then they took care of business. So that's fun. That's a fun environment to be around.
When they're self-motivated, that's the best motivation sometimes.
That's right.
That's awesome. You mentioned defensively. One thing that jumped off the stat sheet to me, you guys have 7 errors as a team through 12 games. That is a really good fielding percentage. 979 as a team. So in addition to getting good pitching and timely hitting and aggressive base running and all of that, you're getting solid defense, which is kind of where it all starts. You can't win a game if your defense isn't keeping you in the game.
Right.
And you guys have done a great job of that. 25 stolen bases on 27 attempts for the year in what's become my personal statistical pledge to keep that one going. This week you head to West Virginia. It's going to be a bus ride both ways. You said about 6 hours. and going to the Thundering Herd Invitational. Good competition in Marshall, Radford, and Butler. What do you know about those teams? I know it's kind of early in the scout process.
Well, Marshall had a really good year last year, and they have new coaching staff. I respect all the coaches there, so I know that they have put together a competitive product for sure, so I'm excited to play them. We played Butler last year. They always, that Indiana fight is always there. Any Indiana team that we play, it's always a good game. And Radford, I don't know much about them. I know they have a good start of the season so far. So similar to last weekend, I'm excited for good competition. That's how you get better. Doesn't matter who we're playing, as long as the other team is trying to get the win and trying to take it from you, then it's gonna be a good fight.
Now we're gonna close the show like we always do with a chance to meet Maggie.
Okay.
We got questions 1 through 8 today.
7.
7.
Okay, Claypool.
Okay, here we go. What do you love about softball?
Good question. So many things, but the sport itself, just the competitiveness, the strategy, the many pieces that have to be put together to get the outcome that you want. How it takes literally everybody. I don't know. I just love the competitive aspect of it, and from the day that I learned and started playing the game, something about it. I don't know what it was, but I kind of was a little obsessed with it, But so many things, like the people that I have met along the way, and the places that the countries that I had traveled. Like I was 15 years old, 16 years old, and I was going to all over Latin America. What a blessing, right? And I'm here today, and that I also love about softball. That took me here, and that I get to work with amazing people here, and have a great team to coach.
That's great. Perfectly said. We'll leave it there. Good luck in West Virginia. Safe travels, and we'll talk to you.